Hi, welcome to a special focus program presented by the Pamunkey Regional Library System. My name is Miss Robin, and I will be your guide today on this program. It's going to be all about Global Cooking Feast. We are going to travel the world by cooking together. We may not be able to travel around the world right now, but we can celebrate our global diversity by cooking foods from around the world. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to concentrate on traveling to a particular country. And our country today is Nepal. Where is Nepal? Anybody know? All right, you're right. If you remember your classes when you studied geography, it is between China and India. And you can take a look at the map that I'll throw up here in a few minutes. So what we're going to cook today is called mango lassi and Sherpa Popcorn. And it is from this lovable book right here. This is it. It is called Cooking Class Global Feast. The author is Diana F. Cook. And it's got some wonderful ideas in it about cooking. And the one that we're going to do today is all about Nepal. But as you look at the book, you can travel through the different countries. So it's a pretty fun book. You guys might want to check that out at the library. Also, in the back of the book, it has this really fun tip about getting your own passport. So when you go traveling to other countries, you have your passport that says you're a citizen of the United States or whatever country you're a citizen of. And then they're going to stamp it or check it off for the name of the country that you're entering. So we would be checking off Nepal. So it's kind of fun. It is here. And so we would flip through and look for Nepal, and there it is right there. And that's our passport, and you can print that off from the website of the book. So the first thing that we want to cook today is our smoothie. So we've got our blender here, and remember that when you are starting cooking, you want to make sure that you've spoken to an adult to make sure that they're okay with you using things in the kitchen by yourself or with their help. Safety is always first. So the other thing we want to do is make sure that we've got our ingredients. And our recipe in the book calls for mango, milk, yogurt, and sugar. So this is our sugar here. Of course, you can use whatever sugar you like. You could also use honey if you wanted to. It's always a good substitute. So the first thing we want to do is get our mango and milk and everything into our blender. So our blender is right here. We want to get our milk poured. It's going to be exactly 1 cup. So this is my measuring cup, says 1. Pour that into our cup. Pour it into our blender. Put the lid back on. Then we want to concentrate on our mango. So we got to make sure our mango is open. Now you can use frozen mango, which is what I've chosen, or you can use an actual fresh ripe mango. If you go with the fresh ripe mango, it's going to be absolutely delicious, but you're going to want to get some help to make sure that your knife skills are safe, because you can definitely hurt yourself if you're not careful. So you definitely want to be careful when you're cutting up a mango. So if we go to our recipe, we can look in our book here, and we go to page 68, and it will tell us the exact ingredients. And it says 2 cups of fresh, frozen, or fresh mango, 1 cup of yogurt, 1/2 cup of milk, 3/4 cup of sugar. Now, of course, you can always alter this if you need to. Say that you've got to make a smoothie for yourself and your family. You might want to increase the amount. So the first thing we want to do is get our mango into our measuring cup. And of course, you need to make sure that you've washed your hands. My hands are clean with hot water and soap. Very important these days. Put that in our blender. So that was 1 cup and 2 cups. There we go. And now we want to get our yogurt. So let's open up our yogurt. And it calls for plain yogurt, which is why you add a sweetener to it if you want to, because without it, it is pretty tart. but some people like that. Really tart. So we want a cup of our yogurt. This is a cup again, so we're going to scoop it out and put it in here. Measure it out, make sure we've got the right amount for our recipe. And again, you can alter the recipe if you need to. Let's say that you're trying to make a smoothie for more than one person or several people. This particular smoothie recipe, I believe, serves 2 to 3 people. So we've got our yogurt in there. And the next thing we want to do is get our sugar. So it calls for 1/4 of a cup of sugar. I've got my measuring cup. Again, I always check the bottom to make sure that that's the right amount. And again, you can use sugar, or you could use honey or stevia, any kind of sweetener that you like. Or you could go without it if you needed to. But it is going to be really tart if you go without it. So totally up to you though. And we add our sugar in there till we know that it's nice and right around that right consistency. And oh, we're not quite even, so we want to make sure we've knocked up around in here and loosened up the sugar so we get just the right amount. And we try again. And that's okay. The fun part of cooking sometimes is experimenting and making sure that you've got ingredients that you like, flavors that are fun for you. But remember, as we're doing global cooking, we're trying new flavors. And I know that it can be a little scary. Trying new things always involves some type of risk, but I think you're going to like the flavors that you find here in the mango lassi. Alright, so we've got our sugar, we've got our yogurt and our milk, and we should be good. So the next thing we want to do is process or run our blender. And of course, the first thing to do is to make sure that you have the top on good and tight. And then we're going to push blend. Now for me, I actually have a container with a blender that says smoothie on it. So that's what I'm going to push. And then once I push that, it's going to get a little loud. So I'll come back right afterwards. Okay, so welcome back. Our mango lassi should be ready now for us to serve. And I'm going to go ahead and get it off of the blender. Make sure we turn the blender off. Yep, it is off. Good. Move that over. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is get our smoothies poured into some containers for us to drink. Want to make sure the lids are open and closed where they should be, because we don't want mango pouring all over us or our family and friends. Get them in our containers. Oh my, it is a little messy, isn't it? That's okay. That's why we have napkins. All right, napkins will help with that process. Sometimes you have to pick it up and shake it just a little to make it come out. Of course, there's always the option of blending it again in case it doesn't really want to follow instructions of pouring out like this guy's doing. All right, and then once we get our smoothie poured, we can always clean up around us. That's always important, of course, and wipe up our mess. And then the other part of the recipe calls for sprinkling it with, can you guess what? It's hard to say, right? Calls for sprinkling it with cardamom. So we're going to do that next. Grab our cardamom here, loosen it up a little by kind of tapping it. Pinch of cardamom on the top. And there you go. You got your mango lassi. Oh, it smells delicious. Cardamon's really a lot of fun. And we put the lid on. That way it's safe to drink around the house and the library. We don't want to spill anything. Put the lid on. Just like that. All right. The next thing that we're going to make together is called Sherpa Popcorn. Sherpa Popcorn, and it's going to have popcorn in it and sugar. And you're probably asking yourself, what the heck is a Sherpa, right? Well, that's a good question. If you look at the board behind us, I've gotten a little definition written out for you. And we'll scoot our globes over so you can see it a little better, hopefully. A Sherpa is a member of a Himalayan people that are living on the borders of Tibet and Nepal. And they are renowned for their mountain climbing skills. Because remember, when you look at the globe, and here's one here, if we look at the globe, we see China, India and Nepal, right here in between the two. What mountain range is there? Do you guys remember? The Himalayas are there, right? Yeah. Very good. I figured you might remember that. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is make our Sherpa popcorn. And in order to do that, it's not too difficult, but we definitely want to go back to our recipe, right? And here's our recipe book. It's always good to have that with you. And the next thing we want to do is look at our recipe, and it says it makes 5 cups of popcorn. So we take our paper bag, open it up, and we want to measure 3 tablespoons of popcorn kernels. So that's what I've got right here. And I have already gone ahead and pulled the lid off of it, so it's nice and easy to get out. So we want to put our 3 tablespoons of popcorn. 1, 2, and and 3. Now, a couple extras probably not a bad idea. So I put a couple in there, and I close the lid to my popcorn, and we are all set. Now, my particular popcorn is whole grain popcorn, but you don't have to use that. You can use whatever popcorn kernels you like. Now, the next step in the process is to fold the bag over the top twice. So 1, 2, and then we're going to put it in the microwave, which is what I've got behind me. So we go ahead and put that in there, just like so. We want to microwave it for about 2 to 3 minutes. And you definitely don't want to go anywhere. You got to stay in the room while you're cooking. It's always important to do that in case something goes wrong. You don't want to cause any kind of fires or issues. So stay with your microwave and the food that you're cooking. So again, we're going for 2 to 3 minutes. And then if that doesn't work, maybe you've got a particularly small microwave like this one is, you want to listen out for the popping. If it stops popping, stop it and take it out. So ready? Here we go. So another fun thing to do while you're cooking is to put on some music. Whatever your favorite music is, it helps me relax. When I'm cooking, I have music on. Everybody likes something a little different. Of course, it's going to have to be something that everybody can agree on, so that is a little tricky. Whatever works in your household. For my household, a lot of times it might be the Beatles. Or 1950s Italian cooking music is fun too. Okay, you hear the popping? That's a good sound. That's what we want, is that popping. And hopefully here in a minute, we will have what we want, which is some yummy Sherpa popcorn. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is get our popcorn out. And just a little fun thing here, we have also these little cards that come at the end of the book. You can print them out from the website, and they teach you how to say I'm hungry in multiple different languages. And for us, we are looking at today Hindi. The people of Nepal should be able to speak Hindi, but remember, they actually speak multiple different languages. The CIA World Factbook says something like 123 different languages are found in the country of Nepal, which is amazing for such a tiny little country. So, how do we say it in Hindi? Well, I'm going to try. It's Mujhe bhuk lagi hai. Mujhe bhuk lagi hai. I am hungry. And there's a whole bunch of others that you can print out in several different languages. Italian, Polish, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, we're going to put our popcorn on and see how it does for 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. Listen to the sound of the popping. Once the popping stops, that means that the corn is ready. You don't want it to go too much further than that because it'll burn. On my first experiment, it burned. It doesn't smell so good when you burn popcorn. So you got to be very careful, obviously. All right, let's see how it did. Whoop. Okay. Now, remember the bag's going to be a little hot, so you got to be very careful not to burn your fingers. The next step that you want to do is to get a little bit of sugar, because that's what makes it Sherpa popcorn. And this, it calls for 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. Now make sure that the steam doesn't get on you, so you want to open it up and vent it away from you, like that. Throw in your sugar, close it back up, and shake it up. And now you should be able to enjoy your popcorn right away. There are several books in the Pamunkey Regional Library's collection that relate to the country of our study today, which is Nepal, besides just a cookbook. There's some out there. This one's called Everest. It's a possibility for you to read. Circle of Elephants is another one. And these, of course, are junior fiction or young adults. Coming up right here, this is called Dragons of Darkness. This is a young adult book, and it deals with dragons battling in Nepal. And then another book you might want to check out is called Seeking the Snow Leopard, because snow leopards live in the mountains in Nepal, the Himalayan mountains that we spoke about earlier. So it could be something that you're interested in if you're into animals. So I hope that you've enjoyed the cooking show that we did today. It was a lot of fun for me, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do it again. Maybe this will be just the first episode in our Global Feast cooking together. Again, I'm Miss Robin, and here in just a few minutes I'm going to get Miss Jenny to join us to get her opinion of our smoothie. So hold on. Okay, so I have asked Miss Jenny to join us to get her opinion on what she thinks of our mango lassi.
Hi everyone.
So
this looks delicious.
So here it is. It has this cute little design to it that's supposed to be fun, so you can suck it right through the little straw there. And we have gently sprinkled some cardamom on top. And so here we go. Cheers.
Excellent. Cheers.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Delicious. That's wonderful.
And then if you would like to try our Sherpa Popcorn, here's a bag for you.
I would.
And this is our Sherpa Popcorn. It has a little bit of sugar on it.
Very good.
Because remember, those Sherpas are climbing mountains, so they got to have some energy. So the popcorn with sugar on it gives them a little bit of energy.
It's also very light. If I were climbing a mountain, this would not weigh very much.
So if you are interested in learning more about Nepal, remember we mentioned some of the books earlier, but we also have all our online resources, so don't forget those. There are a lot of books on Nepal in the Hoopla section. Just type in Nepal and that'll give you the subject area. Okay, thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed our special program on traveling through the world by looking at their different foods and trying new things.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.